and welcome to Grumpy Old Men. We've actually started pretty grumpy because every time we thought we'd get started, they turned on the Vitamizer.
The lawnmower. Yeah.
Wherever we go, it's the same Vitamizer.
People, the other customers see us and think, you know what I want? A smoothie.
Yeah. I get it. And now we need to start by thanking a very, very big thank you to Gordon, who, this is one of his beautiful shirts.
He sent us a box of clothes. Yeah.
Shoes, which happen to fit you.
Yeah.
Beautiful silk shirts.
Beautiful.
Which happen to fit you.
Yeah.
And he's also a boat and some Aboriginal placemats, some shortbreads. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, shortbreads with coffee. These are delightful.
Oh, yes.
I don't know who Gordon is. I don't even know Gordon's last name. But my closet right now looks better than it has looked probably in my whole adult life.
Well, it's time you came out of the closet.
Well, it's time I took Gordon's shirts out of the closet.
Yes.
Gordon, I don't know if you've just recently lost a ton of weight or gained a ton of weight or for what reason you're giving me. These are Jim Thompson silk shirts. These are
beautiful.
Beautiful, and they fit me like they're tailored for me. And
which means they've got a really strange shape.
Typically, I do. People might be hesitant to wear hand-me-down clothing, certainly on YouTube. But no, I love these shirts, man. They're better than anything I had in my closet. Thank you so much, Gordon. Someday let me make you a cup of coffee.
So Gordon was saying rather than doing like a super chat during the live programs, he did a super gift. Yeah. So it's 2 boxes he sent.
Go figure.
Thank you very, very much. I hope we'll run into you one day. We can thank you in person.
Yeah.
So now it's been a little bit of a messy week news-wise. There's no soy sixes or anything to discuss.
Aww.
And thank you to all the comments on our comments about soy 6. What was I going to start with? I spoke about mental health today.
You did, yes. I thought very well.
It's a difficult one to talk about because, I mean, we're all getting older and some of us do face more challenges just to get out of bed than others, but it's an interesting one. I think it's good if we can all speak about it a little bit more than we have.
Yeah, I think so as well. I actually, I worked at the VA.
You've got your shoes off.
Yeah, and I'm just noticing, I walk on the beach every morning and I've got oil on my feet. We have come into...
Do you want to show everybody?
No. We've come into the time of year where the oil tankers that... And then it was over like that. So, yeah, the oil tank...
They're going to kill that mango.
I told you it was a lawnmower.
That mango.
They make their slushies here with a lawnmower.
So they go in to buy a Vitamizer, and the guy says, well, we've got this one here for 20,000 baht, and there's one here for 25,000 baht. Oh, it's okay. We just want the noisiest one you've got.
Yeah, give me the lawnmower.
Give us the noisiest Vitamizer you've got.
Anyway, I worked in the VA, and I worked in mental health for 3 years at the VA, just as departmental secretary.
Veterans Affairs.
Veterans Administration, and
right.
It was during the height of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, though there wasn't really a low point in those wars. It was all the height of, 20 years of the height of, 20 years of crisis. But at any rate, so I worked in mental health, and we had a lot of young men and women coming and seeking services at the mental health, more than the VA had ever seen before. And there was a talk in the VA that there's more stressors on soldiers now. And I worked for a psychologist who did a paper on the fact that no, it's not the same number of soldiers are experiencing mental health issues, but the younger generation are comfortable going and seeking help.
Yeah.
The older soldiers just became alcoholics and beat their wives and eventually shot themselves. The younger soldiers come right back from Iraq, and the first thing they do, the female soldiers get pregnant right away with anybody they can find. A woman's reaction to seeing years of death is to create life. And so the female soldiers would come to the VA and say, I'm pregnant, I need antenatal care. And the VA would say, we're the VA, we don't even have women's bathrooms, we don't have an OBGYN. So they would send them to the most expensive OBGYN in town, wherever that was. Obstetrics and gynecology, baby doctors. And so they would come, gynos. And so the VA was dealing with this big influx of pregnancies and mental health problems, and it looked as though these younger soldiers were having more of these problems, when in fact it was simply the demographics had shifted. Younger people are more comfortable seeking help for mental health problems
these days.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. I have in my life sought help. I've had a lot of depression and was housebound for 4 years with social anxiety disorder. I didn't leave my house virtually for 4 years. And it was therapy, talk therapy, that got me through that. And I think this is a good thing. I think this recent willingness to seek help is a very good thing.
It seems still to be a bit of a taboo topic in Thailand. Still a lot of Thais don't like to talk about it.
Yeah,
they act out with violence and guns and alcohol and drugs.
Yes, or simply sitting at home and stewing, because they're one thing that all Thais share, I think maybe all Asians share, is an unwillingness to express emotion in public, even positive emotion. You don't see public displays of affection. You don't see families touching each other, mothers and fathers touching and hugging, and they tend to bottle up a lot of that stuff. And just let it eat them up from the inside. But yeah, I think
culture.
I think it's a good thing, because we do face more stressors, and there is life after mental health problems.
Let me say, I'm so grateful. I grew up in the 60s and 70s in the sort of a backwater in Australia, rather than trying to tackle life today, when you've just got the world confronting you on a little screen, and all the scary things that you don't have to sort of face until you're half educated and
the amount of pornography that children are exposed to now. I can remember my first exposure to pornography was a box of Playboy magazines that a customer gave me in lieu of paying his newspaper bill when I was a newspaper delivery boy. I was 13. That was the first time I'd ever seen a woman without her clothes on, and it was Playboy. How insipid and dull and run-of-the-mill is Playboy these days, and that was my introduction. Now what young kids, very young kids, are seeing on their phones is bizarre and dangerous, I think.
And they started OnlyFans channel.
Well, we've launched this very darkly today.
We have.
Yeah.
Oh, it is grumpy old man.
It is grumpy old man.
So we can be grumpy. But I mean, one of the discussions was this. I read some lyrics from a Judy Garland song, "Come On, Get Happy," and the search for the promised land. And I sort of said, well, that can be interpreted as a search for your Turtle Beach or your paradise. And so many of us, we tend to spend our lives searching for our paradise beach. But in my case, and I maybe humbly suggest for you, we've found our Turtle Beach.
Thank God, knock on wood, except it would shake the camera. I think
we found the wobbliest table.
Yeah.
We always do.
After 2 years, I've been resident on Turtle Beach for 2 years, and every day I kind of wait for the shoe to drop, the second shoe. I kind of wait for something to disappoint me, and so far nothing has. I've enjoyed it very much. But that being said, one of the things you talked about in the show today in Ray mental health is needing a diversion, needing a project, needing something to do. And I have that. We were talking about a man who has just left Turtle Beach, who never found his project. He thought golf was going to be his project, and that was going to keep him happy. Unfortunately, it was not enough. And
of all the games to keep you happy, I think, speaking and knowing a lot of golfers, it's still one of the most frustrating games that you can be involved in. Not doing it every day, I think, would probably make a lot of people go,
Yeah, YouTube is full of clips of golfers bending their 9-iron around a tree, throwing their golf clubs into the lake, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I imagine it provokes a lot of anger. But
speaking of that, before you go on, we all get those ads prompted by, anytime we watch YouTube, unless we can afford a premium package, which I can't, it doesn't really sort of bother me seeing the ads, but they're always how to improve your golf. I've never hit a golf ball in my life. Why do I get these
I don't know.
from YouTube?
Mine are all about penis enlargement, and certainly I don't need that. AI knows, man. Don't question the AI.
He protests.
Yeah,
he doth protest too loud.
Too much. Hamlet,
Yes.
Act 5. Speaking of his own mother, by the way, he's talking about his own mother in that speech.
Anyway, talking about coming to Turtle Beach and maybe not finding it's for you.
Well, yeah, that's one of those mental health contributors. We work our whole lives to get to retirement. We have this dream, in my case, 25 years of dreaming about retiring on Phuket. And I get to Phuket, and I didn't like it. It had changed, and I didn't like Phuket.
Fancy somewhere changing in 25 years.
In 25 years. Now, I came, and the first day I knew I didn't like Phuket anymore, and I would have to find someplace else. I think a lot of people they're all retirement savings, and they buy a condo in Pattaya or Phuket or wherever, and they think this is going to make me happy. And when it doesn't, they're already invested. They own the condo. They have a relationship. They have a business they've started, or they've got a golf membership or whatever it is. They find it difficult to move on. And so I think then they become depressed, or they start drinking too much, or taking other drugs, or too much random sex with the wrong people.
Only.
Yeah. So once again, and we've said it 1,000 times, go slowly, man. Go slowly.
Yeah.
Don't sign a year's lease. Don't buy a motorcycle in somebody else's name. Don't buy a house or land in somebody else's name.
Yeah, speaking of which, you mentioned that somebody had paid or had given somebody money.
Oh,
That's a different story, but
no, yeah, it a fella, who met a caddy at the golf course, and she said, whatever the story was, the buffalo is sick, my mother has died, and I need 20,000 baht for the funeral, or they're going to throw her in the klong. And undoubtedly, he never told me this, but undoubtedly there were photos on the phone. Anytime a Thai person shows you somebody in the hospital or a damaged motorcycle or a funeral on their phone, they're lying. And undoubtedly there were photos, and she said I needed 20,000 baht, and he gave her a loan of 20,000 baht. Well, now he's leaving. You think he's going to get his 20,000 baht back? No.
Did he get his 20,000 baht value?
Did he? Well, I don't know. That part of it wasn't told me. I assume she caddied for him on the golf course. But don't be handing money to people like that you've just met. Somebody in the service industry who's showing you pictures on the phone and saying, "Oh, I've had this tragedy in my life. My kid's in the hospital. My mother's just died." Whatever it is, if it's a photo on the phone, they're lying. And don't give them money, man. Slow down. Take a break. Slow down. Sit still and listen. Just do that.
There's a group of about 20 Chinese who are visitors, because we haven't even mentioned yet. We are at the Aquella Golf Course. Again. Why?
Again, we like it.
It's good food.
It's good food, yeah. And it's air conditioned, and typically the dining room is empty, and we have the whole place to ourselves.
Not today.
No.
But that's okay.
Tourism is rebounding, and there are people here today.
I've got a group staying at one of my beach houses tonight who are playing here today. Seems to be, I get a lot of these one-night bookings from people. They come and play at Aquella, then that's a barrier between you and me.
No, I'm trying I need to sit up so that the camera can see me. So I'm trying to just.
How are you
it's
going?
All right.
Now?
I'll get there. I'll get there. We got an hour. I'll get there.
Time to open the magic picture book. Norel's notebook.
All right.
Was there a TV show when you were a kid that started off with some pretty woman opening up a book and going, "Now today, children," and off we go?
Yeah, story time.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Well, I'm sure your pretty lady opening the book was a different pretty lady than my pretty lady.
Yeah.
Mine was called Nancy Cato, and it was the Magic Circle Club. There you go, there's a memory. And, of course, the wonder of YouTube, you can go and watch some of these old programs.
Yes. you
Wow.
can. Well, wow, but sometimes it's disappointing when you watch
always
a show.
disappointing.
Yeah, that's not as good as I remember.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. I hate that when that happens. But there is a lot to watch on YouTube. I've got two things to start with. First of all, brain trust. I'm sorry to point at you. Yeah, sorry. ขอโทษครับ You know how to say I forgive you?
In Thai,
Yeah.
my pet,
My pet, don't spicy me. No, ขอโทษ is to beg punishment.
โทษ
ยกโทษ to lift punishment is to say I forgive you.
I know that whatever he's saying is going to be in next week's Steve Got It Wrong.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. There is a show called Phuket Extra. You may have heard of it. The Phuket
I
News.
started it.
You started that.
Sure.
JP Mastanza,
Good
I
old
think, is
JP.
the presenter now. So every day, JP is in front of a bookshelf, and there's somebody is messing with me because I mentioned the books that were behind him, and so now every couple of episodes they replace a book with a new book. And replace that book 2 episodes later.
Right.
And replace that book just to goad me a little bit. So I want you to watch and comment on the books. Pay attention to what's going on behind him. And they even draw attention to it. They got a little Hotai figure. He's not the Buddha, he's the Hotai, and he's doing this. He's one of these animatronic little dolls and he's doing this
Walk
to draw
like
your attention.
Egyptian.
Yes, walk like an Egyptian.
So are they putting your books up there?
No. In fact, everybody, there it is again. I should stop doing that. Everybody write into Phuket Extra in their comments and tell them you want to see one of Steve Rosse's books on the bookshelf over JP Mastanza's shoulder. All right? That's a great idea. Thank you for that, Tim. I love that idea. It's Phuket Extra by the Phuket News. That's
Don't
right.
promote
isn't it?
somebody else's news show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't watch the show. Just go there and
Just look for the books and then
comment.
Come to
We
TNT.
want to see Leaving Thailand by Steve Rosse on that bookshelf.
Yes.
And
If
the
that
other-
happens, that'll be wonderful.
Thank you again because I've
Hi,
written down
JP.
here. Thank Gordon. Thank
I
Gordon
offered
for the
JP a
shirt.
job about 3 years ago. He never called me back.
Ah.
So
Well,
that's the last I saw of JP.
One of the other interesting things to watch is JP's facial hair because he takes a lot of time and attention on getting just the right length on his facial hair. He's never clean shaven and he never has a beard. He's like that 1983 Miami Vice kind of a scruffy thing going
JP's
on.
sort of Latino and is quite hirsute, I think is the word.
Suit, yes, he's a hairy guy.
Hirsute.
He is, yeah. Okay,
Nice guy.
we will launch with our favorite segment. Steve got it wrong.
No.
Yeah, I know.
We need
Yeah.
a theme for this.
How many times did Steve get it wrong this week? The name was changed from Siam to Thailand, not in 1932 with the revolution that ended the absolute monarchy, but in fact in 1939.
That might have been a Tim got it wrong, I think.
I think both of us got it wrong.
Yes.
And then it was changed back to Siam for 2 years at the end of World War II, and then back to Thailand a couple years after
I think
that.
there's people want an autograph. No.
Well, they'll
later.
just have
We'll
to
do it
wait.
later.
They'll
Yeah,
have to,
yeah, yeah.
write into the fan club. Like
Thanks for
everybody
coming.
else.
Nice to meet you all.
There are no prunes in Dr. Pepper. That is a bit of apocrypha that I have been carrying in my head since childhood, that Dr. Pepper is made from prune juice. And apparently, no, it's not. Who knew?
Would you think there was anything natural in any of those lemonade drinks? Anything?
Well, these days, all chemicals in the universe are natural, but That's pedante.
Yes.
But no, from nature, from a fruit, an actual fruit, I doubt it. I doubt it.
And somebody, I said that I thought root beer, Dr. Pepper, tasted like, before you get to the next one, tasted like a medication that I used to take at boarding school called Seneca and ammonia. And somebody sent me a long email about the fact that they grew up on Seneca and ammonia, and you can still buy it. Okay. I said it was full of methamphetamines, but apparently it's not. I might have exaggerated.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of root beer, I said sarsaparilla was the same as root beer, and somebody said, oh, no. Yes, it is. Might taste a little bit different, like Pepsi tastes different from Coke, but I mean,
yeah,
same.
In a blind taste test, could you tell the difference? Yeah.
Well, I hate both.
I like root beer quite a bit. I don't think I have ever tasted anything called sarsaparilla. I don't remember ever seeing that. As far as I know, it's something cowboys say in old movies. I don't think it's, I've never tasted sarsaparilla.
I would have liked to have been the person sitting in the committee room when they all sat around with a drink of root beer saying, now we need to come up with a new original name for Australian root beer. Anybody got any ideas? And I would have loved to have been the smart ass in the back corner going, sarsaparilla?
Does that word mean something else? Is that
no, I don't think so.
Navajo for sweet water or something? Siri.
Hey Siri, what is sarsaparilla? Sarsaparilla is a soft drink originally made from the vine Smilax ornata or other species of smilax such as Smilax officinalis. What?
I don't know any more than I did a minute ago.
So it says it's a soft drink.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's taken us off in a slightly different direction, so we might just leave that there. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, it's sarsaparilla root beer. It's all good for cleaning the tiles, I think.
My left arm's going to sleep. I was corrected. The young men in Thailand are not removing the mufflers from their motorcycles. They are simply removing the baffles from inside the muffler. I don't know what that means, but I was corrected, and I'm going to assume the corrector is correct, and I'm going to report that to you. They are not removing the entire muffler. They're removing the baffles.
The bit that quietens
down.
The
bit that muffles.
Yes. I've always called them a muffler, but some people said, oh, no, it's a
silencer. People in the UK called it a silencer.
Yeah. Any young Thais running around with a silencer, I will avoid.
I had said that all Thais have some sort of experience at Muay Thai.
Yes.
That in school it is taught as a physical education class. They join clubs, they play with their brothers and sisters, they learn Muay Thai moves. A bunch of people jumped in to let me know that no, not all Thais are experienced with Muay Thai.
I can't say that. I've been to a couple of Muay Thai matches. For cultural reasons, I don't really enjoy the biffo.
He's
but
addicted to betting.
It's all the stuff that goes with the Muay Thai, the half an hour before they actually start doing anything, that I find all sort of quite fascinating. I've never seen any female fighters. I'm sure there are, but it's not as if it's a big part of Muay Thai.
Yeah, well, that was another.
I've never seen it.
People said Steve got it wrong. I had mentioned the movie Buffalo Girls, which is about two professional 9-year-old female Muay Thai boxers in Isan. And, you know, again, I don't go to the Muay Thai. I go to the chicken fights. I don't go to Muay Thai. But my impression was that, yeah, women until puberty, Thai girl children learn Muay Thai, and they do fight professionally. There are professional child boxers in this country, male and female, but a bunch of people jumped in to tell me I'm wrong, that women have nothing to do, and one person even said that traditionally women are not allowed to touch the Muay Thai ring. I didn't bother to go Google that, but if I got it wrong, mea culpa. I got it wrong. But it's a wonderful movie, Buffalo Girls. You should go watch Buffalo Girls. We will begin our Tim Got It Wrong segment asking you.
I'll edit this out.
If you have the temerity to try to defend the proposition that Rhapsody in Blue is responsible for all the music that came after.
I don't think I said that.
Well, whatever you said, defend it. You have been challenged by a dozen correspondents in the comment section.
Well, maybe one.
Quoting Mozart and Sting and Michael Jackson and everybody else. So why do you like Rhapsody in Blue?
It's not that I like it, it's just that I recognize it as an important piece of music. I think it is the most important piece of music from the 20th century.
Okay.
Because it bridged the classics and modern music, and it was the one piece of music that actually did that within the one piece. It bridged the two styles. I mean, there was an evolving sort of underground blues movement and shorter songs that would go for 3 or 4 minutes started being written. But this piece of music, Rhapsody in Blue, encapsulated these new sounds, new instrumentations, and actually bridged the styles such that it popularized through George Gershwin, who wrote a lot of the famous American songbook, and really set that whole movement of pop music and the styles of 4/4 music and the transition of chords and the type of chords used and the types of instrumentations. Rhapsody in Blue was really a very, very big part of that. I mean, there's probably 20 or 30 pieces of music that you could put into that same category that were part of stringing together the classic sounds of music with more modern pop music. But I think Rhapsody in Blue encapsulated better than others and still remains one of the most popular pieces of classic music performed today. If you go to any orchestral playing, I mean, there is a strong chance that they'll probably be putting on Rhapsody in Blue as part of the evening's entertainment.
My Uncle Dick played the clarinet, and I can remember I lived for 6 months at his house when I was a child, and he would practice. He'd come home from work and have dinner and watch TV, and after the kids went to bed, he would practice piano and clarinet. He was a doctor, but he'd always wanted to be a professional musician. And that was one of his favorite warm-up pieces. I probably heard him play that 50 times. Da 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 da.
Yeah, it's okay. We get it.
Do you play an instrument?
I play the piano.
Oh.
Badly. And I've done a bit of Rhapsody in Blue in the past. The interesting part, we don't want to spend too much time on it because I might make a video about it one day, as I promised. But the original orchestrations were written down for the orchestra, but the piano bits were performed by George Gershwin himself at that first playing in 100 years ago, 1924, and there is no recording of that original performance, and it's not known exactly what he played, but there was quite a lot of interpretation and jazz extrapolation that is unknown to this day. So it's an interesting piece of music where a lot of it is written down, the orchestration, but the piano bits, there's a lot of it that isn't. So to this day, there is still plenty of players, pianists, who will interpret those bits themselves. There is a sort of a version which is often presented, which, the famous conductor, famous conductors of the 50s. Leonard
Bernstein,
I think it was Leonard. He did a version, and that sort of become the popular version of the performance of Rhapsody in Blue. But I saw one recently, a young Japanese guy. He was using a melodica, which is a keyboard that you blow into as part of the performance. Beautiful, really creative. And I've seen a rock version of Rhapsody in Blue performed. So I still believe it is one of the most important pieces of music and of the 20th century. I mean, there's a lot of better music. There's a lot of better musicians, but as a piece of music, I mean, it goes for about 17 minutes in total. It is such an important piece of music that without it, the whole future of pop music and popular music, certainly in the USA, I think would have been different.
Okay, thank you.
Is that a good defense?
That's a great defense.
I rest my case, Your Honour.
Yeah. I don't play any instruments and music. I am tone deaf, and music is just white noise.
You play
to me.
the cigarette lighters.
I play the cigarette lighters. Yeah, don't talk cigarettes. I've been 5 weeks without a cigarette. Don't mention smoking.
I didn't.
Don't mention. You said cigarette lighter. It has the word cigarettes in it.
How are you going?
Tim, well, it's a struggle. I woke up. This happens. I woke up in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't go back to sleep. And typically, I would sit on the beach and smoke cigarettes. But I didn't.
Have you had a quiet fag at all in the past 5 weeks?
No. I've been cold. If I smoke one, I'll be back up to a pack a day in 3 days. No. I have to stay.
Be strong. Be brave, Steve.
Well, I am telling myself
behind you.
it is until the end of my mother's visit, and then I'll be able to smoke all I want. So as long as I keep telling myself that, I am able to abstain. There's lots to see in Nullarbor.
The Nullarbor Plain.
Nullarbor.
This
yes.
is the section between Adelaide and Perth.
Yeah, you had said there was nothing to see there. You were corrected. There is apparently things to see there. Adelaide, you had said it was noted for its churches. Adelaide, we are told, is known for the Somerton Man. What is the Somerton Man?
I have no idea.
Oh, I should have Googled it. Whatever the Somerton Man is, Adelaide is known for that. The Adelaide 500 street races.
Well, they used to have the Grand Prix, the F1 Grand Prix in Adelaide, like 40 years ago. Before Melbourne got it.
And meat pie floaters. Mate, this guy wanted you to know he's Australian. Adelaide is known for meat pie floaters.
Meat pie floater is, that's a meat pie floating in gravy and peas.
Okay.
I think it's
apparently
English,
Adelaide is known for this. So
well,
now you know.
When you got the list of the top 100 pieces of culinary excellence, it's very unlikely to see anything from Australia in there. The pie floater, I wouldn't be in the top 1,000.
Well, not much from Iowa in that list either.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
pork
here
and corn,
is,
pork and corn, pork and corn, pork and corn.
So, okay, the green bits, see those green bits around Victoria,
live,
Melbourne,
right?
and Sydney there?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's
where human life is possible.
There's Adelaide, and there is Perth. And look at that bit in the middle. It's as brown as, well, I could say many things there, but I'd probably be taken off YouTube. But it's very brown.
Yes, it is.
It's as dry as a nun's...
The surface of the moon.
The boot in the back of a nun's car.
Yes,
so
it is.
That's very brown, Steve.
It looks empty to me.
That's brown. What did they say is in the Nullarbor Plain?
No, the comment was simply, there's lots to see in the Nullarbor, you just have to get off the main roads.
There's one road.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've
never been there. I've never been there.
Okay.
All right, we go on.
Thank you.
We had been talking about why Thais take the rearview mirrors off their motorcycles. And the Brain Trust contributed some suggestions. What's very interesting to me is whenever anybody says anything in the comment section, not just this channel, but anywhere, they are absolutely adamant. There's no, well, IMHO, in my humble opinion, or any of that. No. By God, it's this way.
And sometimes they will punctuate it by putting their statement and then putting fact at the end.
Yeah, fact.
Like that.
I'm convinced now.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so it's a fact.
So somebody said the mirrors get knocked off by driving quickly and erratically. The mirrors get knocked off the bike. Okay. Someone else said they're taken off preemptively to avoid them being knocked off as motorcycles snake through the traffic. Maybe in Bangkok I could see that, because I know when I ride on a motorcycle taxi in Bangkok, I'm very careful to keep my elbows in.
Well, sure, but the rear view mirrors aren't any further out than the width of your handlebars. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. This is just what people have been suggesting.
Oh, it must be correct.
But suggesting emphatically,
With
this is
fact on the
why.
end. Emphatically.
Wind resistance. They're taken off to decrease wind resistance.
We'll get rid of that person sitting behind
Exclamation point. Emphatically.
Right.
And someone else said something that was actually very useful. There is a subculture of youths in Bangkok called Dek Win, who remove the mirrors as a fashion statement on their motorcycles. It makes the motorcycles look sleek and daring and ballsy. And they added a link to a video that I watched some of, and yeah, that seems to be correct.
That sounds so much more plausible than all the
Wind
other ones.
resistance. No, that doesn't sound right at all.
Sorry. Wind resistance.
We had been talking about the Farrago on Soy 6, where the bouncer was seen kicking the guy in the head, and somehow miraculously the guy gets up and continues drinking, goes out and takes a shower and puts on fresh clothes and goes drinking again.
He wasn't dead.
And somebody said the head kicker was not wearing shoes, so there was no damage. Well, Muay Thai boxers don't wear shoes, and they damage each other with kicking all the time. Kids in this country grow up playing soccer or football with no shoes, and they kick the ball into the net. I think the foot is hard enough. The sole of the foot is hard enough to do some damage.
It would just depend on which part of the head, which part of the foot, the angle, the impact. I mean, you could do a lot of damage or bugger all damage. So it appears he may have not.
Yeah, we talked about the Russian who got one punch and fell on the back of his head, and he's dead. He's dead now. The human body is both fragile and incredibly durable at the same time. But I think not wearing shoes for someone who's grown up fighting without shoes on, I've always wondered how, because everybody, the couple of bar fights I've seen in Thailand, people kick off their flip-flops and go at it. Why not just break a glass at the guy's feet? You know, make him walk on broken glass. Why not win that way? I don't know. I've never been in a bar fight in Thailand, so I don't know.
Well, which begs the question, have you been in bar fights anywhere else?
In Iowa, yes. Yeah, I was a...
What did
with
you
this
fight
mouth,
over?
You think people haven't punched me in the nose with this mouth?
Fighting over a lady, perhaps?
No. With this face, who needs to fight? No, she chooses me every time. But no, I say stuff that gets people pissed off.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm usually the only sober guy in the bar. And people get pissed off at that. If you don't drink, you go out and you order a Sprite with lemon in the bar. Drinkers get pissed off. And in Iowa in the 1970s, yeah, I got punched in the face. And I punched guys in the face. And in New York City, I worked the door at a dance club for 2 nights. I was a bouncer for 2 nights.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Oh yeah, but no, not in Thailand. No,
I've punched somebody once.
Yeah, what was her
In
name?
anger.
What was her name?
No, it was a gentleman I hit. Only once.
But he was a gentleman. No, why would you hit a gentleman?
Well, I mean, I use the term broadly.
Yeah, he was male.
Broadly.
Was it on the deck of a yacht?
No. No.
He will provide no details.
No.
All right.
No.
Listen, I had said that Takra is the game where you kick a basketry sphere
Bit of
with your
rattan.
feet. Yeah, a bit of rattan with you. You can use anything but your hands. And it's like volleyball, it's over a net and back, 3 on the team.
Now, I do find that extraordinarily skillful.
Yes, it's
Wow.
amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch. And they practice, the Thai Mueang team practices right around the corner from my house.
Takra. If I had the opportunity
sepak takraw.
to watch people play golf or watch people play takraw,
Yeah.
takraw would win
Every time.
every
there's
single time.
little more happening. But I had said that it's popular in the south, and people wrote in to say it's popular all over Thailand. I guess people were adamant that it's more popular than football. I don't know, but I haven't
Football
lived
as in
anywhere.
soccer.
Yes, soccer. I haven't lived anywhere except South Thailand, so I don't know. It seemed counterintuitive to me. but-
Football, soccer is popular in Thailand more so as a spectator sport, hugely popular. A lot of the soccer is played, but it's like really, as far as spectator sport, it's probably the most popular, here we go, spectator sport in Thailand. Volleyball, also very popular.
Yeah, I would have thought that it's the number one. And that Muay Thai. I know Muay Thai is the national sport, and I thought that all Thais have some experience of practicing Muay Thai. But I would have thought that takraw was much more popular here in the south than it is in Eastern or the north. Because it came north from Malaysia and Indonesia.
How do you know that, or you just...
No, I thought that.
Okay.
But I was corrected in the we're still in the Steve got it wrong section. I was corrected in the comments that no, it is hugely popular, more popular than football.
You need to come each week with a list of things that you know are wrong, which will prompt them to fill up the comment section with Steve got it wrong comments.
You think I don't come with enough to say? Am I too quiet? Am I sitting here shyly, demurely, not saying anything?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I
only
have
hope.
enough to say.
Oh, God,
this
here we go.
one
Oh, here we
blew
go.
me away.
It's a bit uncomfortable here as well.
Apparently,
Apparently.
it is common in food courts in Thailand, in malls, and even the Lotus,
Lotus
a
apostrophe.
station for washing cutlery.
Oh, I see it all the time. All the time. Every food court I go to has where you put it's the boiling water and you put your knife and your fork and spoon in there.
bain-marie, we were educated this week.
Well,
and
no,
bain-marie is a thing that
Yes, no, this is just
ewer
more of
hot water.
it's just like a kettle. And you put them in and
Yeah.
off you go.
I don't go to malls, so I've never seen this.
I thought I'd taken my washing a few times. I thought, I can get a few things done at once here. I've got do the washing and...
It unless that water is hard boiling and unless you leave it in there 10 minutes, you're not sterilizing anything. But if it makes you feel that
Exactly.
it's cleaner,
All that
then,
matters.
and people said, in China, people will wash the cutlery in the green tea that is provided free in all the restaurants. You would get hot green tea and you would wash your cutlery in that. That's not going to make anything clean.
Oh, what's that green tea called? It's got a name. Jasmine tea. Oh, I love jasmine tea. Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
Very refreshing. I don't think it would kill anything, but...
no, it won't. So, no, you need to hard boil. If it was that easy to sterilize, surgery would be a lot cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah, and apparently in China, it is okay. They don't touch food with their fingers, so when they've got a bit of gristle or bone in their mouth, they spit it out on the shaky table, on the tablecloth, or the floor. And that apparently touching the food is disgusting, but spitting it out on the table is not.
That's okay.
I've never been there. I don't remember the last time I ate with Chinese people. I don't know, but that is what was said in the comments.
I just remember eating in China. I've been there 4 or 5 times. Oh no, more than that. I do remember, of all the strange things to remember, is that nothing I saw on the menu resembled the Chinese restaurant menus back in Australia. They didn't have chicken chow mein. They didn't have Mongolian beef. They didn't have lemon chicken.
Chop suey.
They didn't have special fried rice.
Yeah.
No,
Sesame noodles.
no,
Yeah,
they
chop
didn't have
suey.
anything like
No.
that.
Yeah. Go figure.
And I didn't find the Fuck You restaurant, which was the name of the restaurant I used to go to. True.
I had said
that it's okay in Thailand to bring food into a restaurant. If you, like at the festivals on our street, people will buy food on the street, take it into Pisau, and order their beverages and eat from styrofoam.
I have
in
to
the
say,
restaurant.
it's something that I just haven't seen before.
You'll have to wash that in the tea.
Yes. Put that in the Bain Marie.
Apparently, people have said they've seen it, it's common, but only food that is not sold in that restaurant. And just this last week, I saw some people in one of our restaurants on our beach. They were selling sata. This is the season for sata. It's a vegetable, it's a legume, it looks like a big green bean, and people eat it raw, people eat it cooked in stews.
Oh, this is a great big long green bean.
And
Does it taste like green bean?
It tastes like whatever sauce you put it in. It's a legume, like a peanut.
Right.
It's just a starchy, fibrous thing. Okay. But it is so fibrous that famously it makes an odor omnipresent, which Thai people are happy to live with because they like sata so much. But they were selling it from a samlaw, from a three-wheeled bike on the street opposite the restaurants, and people were leaving the restaurants in the middle of their meal to go buy a big thing of sata and bring it back to the table, and everybody at the table got a big sata, and they were breaking them open and eating the sata at the table. So if it's a food that's not sold at the restaurant, then you're buying your beverages at the restaurant and maybe something else. And if I suppose the restaurant allows this, I would guess in the restaurants at the Oriental Hotel, no, you would not bring sata in from the street.
Have you ever been to a restaurant in the Oriental Hotel?
Yes, I spent a night at the Oriental as their guest. When I was a journalist and I was getting freebies and junkets, I was invited to the Oriental.
The Mandarin Oriental.
The Mandarin Oriental in
Chao Phraya.
Bangkok, the one that tried to kill Somerset Maugham. And I wrote for Thailand Tatler a humorous, I thought, review of the Mandarin Oriental, and the next time I tried to send an email to the general manager, it was blocked. I had been blocked by the general manager. So that was my only night at the Oriental.
Hey Siri, review of Mandarin Oriental in Bangkok by Steve Rosse.
There was no online Thailand Tatler in that age.
Oh, New York Times?
No.
No.
Lord Jim's was the name of the restaurant I ate at, and I ate there with shrimp, Patrick Govain.
Who are other famous authors who graced the hallowed halls of the Mandarin Oriental? There'd be quite a few.
Fewer than they claim. Fewer than they claim.
Sure.
And let's not forget that they tried to kill Somerset Maugham when he stayed there. He wrote about it in an essay called The Dying Man in the Lobby. They didn't want him, this famous author, he had malaria and he was in the midst of a malarial fever, and they didn't want him to die in their hotel. So they put him in a taxi in the midst of his fever, drove him to a crappy hotel across town, dumped him in a room and left him there. Now, but
Noel Coward?
How much real connection? You know, they claimed, Joseph Conrad. And I don't think Joseph Conrad ever stayed there. Joseph Conrad visited Bangkok as a merchant seaman before he was ever a writer. So and they misspelled George Orwell's name in the author's lounge when I went there. They have pictures of all the famous authors around the room. They misspelled George Orwell's name. I mean, it is a marketing
One
thing.
L, two L's.
And last time I was there, which was only about a year ago, I just went to I just went to take a look. I didn't buy anything there, but I went to take a look at the author's lounge, and I left a hat. I had a hat that I bought in a bookstore in America that said, "Fight fascism, read a book." And I left it in the author's lounge. I put it on the bookshelf and I left it in the author's lounge.
Right.
If anybody goes to the Oriental, check and see if my hat's still there.
I've only been there for high tea, which was very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely space. That lounge area is an atrium, and it is lit beautifully with natural light. I've been in a bamboo bar. I drank with the piano player, the black American piano player in the bamboo bar. There was nobody else in the bar, and he and I just sat at the piano. He stopped playing. We just sat and talked for about an hour. That was 95, maybe 1995.
So yeah, I've been there. Oh, I've been on the, I had a breakfast out on that dock thing that sticks out in the river.
That dock thing.
I had a guy stalk me online for years, Peter in Florida, because he had sent me a little essay he wrote about taking 2 hookers to breakfast at the Oriental. What a big shot he was, because he took, after a night of prodigious activities in a cheap hotel, he took these 2 hookers in the morning to the Oriental to buy them breakfast on that floating outdoor area. And I said, dude, they didn't want to. They wanted to go home. They wanted you to pay them and they could go home because they were in the clothes they wore to the bar last night. They were stinking of alcohol and cigarettes. And you bought them Farang food. They don't want Farang food. If they eat in the morning, they need kanomtin or jok, something. Yeah, something easy to digest. They don't want eggs and bacon and stuff. They went with you and smiled at you because that's their job. Oh, he got angry at me, and that guy was making phone calls to me. Oh, he sent me a screen capture of my mother's front door. He went online and found my mother's address and took a screen capture off Google Earth, Street View, of my mother's front door and sent me a picture. I know where your mother lives. Yeah, because I told him these 2 hookers didn't want to go to breakfast at the Oriental Hotel.
I've heard this story about 6 times. It's always a little bit different.
No.
But always fascinating.
Well, thank you. I'll take the last half of that
Sure.
comment. Yeah. Steve got it wrong. Tiger Bomb was invented in Burma, not Hong Kong, and the company is now...
a lot of people said Singapore.
No, it's headquartered in Singapore.
Right.
When the shit hit the fan in Burma, the company moved
Which
to Singapore.
time?
Right, yeah, 1924.
Oh, that one.
100
Right.
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2 Chinese brothers who were living in Burma moved to Singapore and took the company with them. But I was right, there was a Tiger Balm garden in Hong Kong. So for the guy who wrote in and said, no, there's no Tiger Balm garden in Hong Kong,
I think there's
there
a
was.
Tiger Balm garden in every Asian city. Like there's a Chinatown everywhere in the world.
There were quite a few, yeah.
Yes.
And so there was one when I was a kid, when I was 10 and 11, we visited Hong Kong a few times. And there we went, that was what you went to see.
What was the
Balm garden.
magic chemical in Tiger Balm that made it do all its wonderful
It's
things?
camphor and menthol and
Okay.
wax. That's what it is.
I thought it all smelled a bit like deep heat. The sort of
That's
same but different.
I assume the camphor.
Yeah.
And it's just doing the same thing. It stimulates blood traveling to the skin, and so it feels warmer. The skin feels warmer, and that is a pleasant
Your
sensation.
skin feels warmer. Nobody will come near you because you stink.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah. And it's just the thing
nothing.
for mosquito bites. We are informed by the Brain Trust. It is just the thing to soothe the mosquito
really?
bite. Yes. This is my last thing. How much time do we have? Where are we? Where's the clock? I can't see it.
We're winding up.
Okay, we'll wind up with this. You had pronounced the word S-I-A-M as Siam,
Siam.
which sounds fine to me. That's how I hear Thais pronounce it. Somebody quibbled with that
Often.
because it is spelled in Thai with the consonant S, consonant Y, vowel A, and consonant M. So it's Siam. So whatever vowel goes between the S and the Y, which we are pronouncing Siam, he said, no. When you don't have a vowel indicated between 2 consonants, it's A-ang, it's A, Siam. And he was very adamant about this. And his closing argument was, it is pronounced that way by locals. Shouldn't we pronounce place names the way the locals do? But, on one hand, philosophically, I agree with him. I quibble all the time online with people who pronounce it Phuket. I say, no, it's Phuket. And they say, well, that's different dialects pronounce it differently. No, it is an aspirated consonant P. It is Phuket, and that's how Thai people say it.
It's Phuket.
So, okay, we're going to stress the second syllable. That's
Yes.
fine too. But his argument that we should pronounce it the way the locals do mean I should pronounce Paris, Paris, and I don't. When I lived in New York, I pronounced it New York because I wanted people to think I was from New York and not from Iowa.
Another one in America, New Orleans.
Nolans, yeah, Nolans.
Not New
yeah.
Orleans.
No, I say New Orleans. Yeah, so
What's the southern capital in Australia? The capital of Victoria.
Adelaide,
No, I don't want
Canberra.
to.
Canberra?
How do you say Melbourne?
Melbourne. Oh, Melbourne. I say Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah. Melbourne.
Yeah, there you go. You see, we all pronounce things a little bit differently.
Philosophically, I agree with the guy. Yeah. I still say Pattaya, because that's how I learned it.
A lot of people say
35
Pattaya.
Yeah, Pattaya is how the Thai say it.
Pattaya is how you meant to say it.
I know Kunya, the guy who made the big turtle in our plaza, the artist. His name is Kunya, because his father called him Pattaya, and he won't explain why. But yeah, I say Pattaya, because that's how I learned it in 1988. And so I agree with you, correspondent. Philosophically, yeah, we should try. When I worked at the VA, all of these soldiers would say, yeah, I lost my leg in Iraq. Well, it is pronounced Iraq. The R is rolled and it's a ah, not a ah. But in Iowa, soldiers from Iowa, they got wounded in Iraq. Who was I to correct this guy, right? So I agree with you, correspondent. Yes, we should try, I suppose, to emulate the natives when we pronounce place names, or any word in their language, I assume. But we don't. Pragmatically, we don't. I don't say Paris. So that's the thing.
Have you been to Paris?
I've never been anywhere in Europe. I've never been anywhere except southern Thailand, Iowa, and New Mexico, and New York City.
I have to say that of all the cities in the world I've visited, there is something very magic about Paris. Well, was the 2 or 3 times I went there in the 80s and 90s. People tell me now it's just a sort of a tourist ghetto. Yeah, I mean, doing a cruise down the Seine and going to see the Eiffel Tower, of course. It's a magic place. I was there for the what do you call it?
Speaking of the way the natives say things.
I did 7 years of French, can't speak a word of it. But I was there for the switch over of the centuries on the December the 31st, 1999. I was there in Paris.
2001.
Because I thought of all the places to go in the world, there's going to be a show or something.
Nothing?
Nothing. I was there and we, 5, 4, 3, 2, oh, sorry. 5, 4, just 3, 2, 1. And nothing.
4 years of Spanish, I don't say. Donde está la biblioteca?
Well, at least you had a reason to learn Spanish, because a lot of Spanish is spoken in the southern parts of the United States.
Yeah, a lot of people. And that, by the way, as far as I'm concerned, we start counting things with 1. So the century changed between 2000 and 2001. 2000 was the last century, the last year of the last century.
Oh God, here we go.
We don't start counting with 0.
The comment section is going to be full of that issue.
That's fine.
I'm sure.
We've been having this conversation for 24 years.
Yes.
And the important thing to remember is no planes fell out of the sky.
No.
You didn't lose your bank accounts. The Y2K thing was all a big hoax, and maybe the first internet conspiracy hoax that we experienced. Who knows?
And I was going to say something else. It's eluded me. So that's what happens when you get old. And with that, I thank you very much for dropping in.
Well, thank you.
I was going to ask you earlier, but you sort of went off talking about other things.
No. Me?
You took us off in a road less travelled, let's say.
That's a first.
But you went to an event yesterday, Friday, which was
World Ocean Day.
World Ocean Day, and there was a turtle release.
There was a turtle release, yeah. We released 15 juvenile turtles in the Andaman Sea.
And I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to Steve's Beachcomber special, where he's done a 15, 20 minute?
A 10-minute
video of World Turtle Day on Turtle Beach. Well worth watching.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And
only to see the governor of Phang Nga almost washed out to sea.
Yeah, there's some funny bits. And I am informed that YouTube is able to put an ad on a video longer than 10 minutes. Mine comes in 9 seconds short of 10 minutes, so YouTube can't put an ad on it. So there you go, ad-free content. Is it 8?
It's 8 minutes, I'm sorry.
Oh, excellent, then I got ads I can monetize.
Yes,
Actually, this new channel, I don't have 1,000 subs yet, so I can't monetize.
8 minutes, you can place your ads. 5 minutes you get ads.
Oh.
8 minutes you can place your ads.
Somebody got it wrong in the comment section?
Well,
Wow, alert the media. That's never happened before.
so you can sort of have a section in your video where we go, and we'll get to that right after this word from our sponsor.
Oh, cool. So the channel is Beachcombing on Turtle Beach. So go take a look and
And there's 2 other
enjoy
videos there.
There are 2 other videos there. This one is not about picking up trash on the beach. The other 2 are. This one is simply about a very fun day in a very Thai atmosphere. I was the only Phang there. There were 300 students from the college and probably another 50 dignitaries, and the governor was there and people like that. So it was a big crowd and 15 juvenile turtles heading for the sea.
And what is unusual about the Phang Nga governor?
Oh, well, no, I was wrong about that.
Oh,
Up until 2019.
Steve got it wrong.
Yeah, apparently our governor, Kun Akarat, was the first Muslim governor in Thailand. He was originally at Narathiwat, then he was posted here. You know they shuffle the governors every year,
Sure.
every couple of years.
Every couple of years.
And he was the first Muslim governor in Thailand. But I was wrong. He left in 2019, got shuffled somewhere else. The new guy is somebody else. Yeah, my bad, my mistake.
Okay.
Steve got that wrong.
So thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. I don't know
and-
why you do, but I really am glad you do.
And thank you for winding up the show. Do you want to? I'll leave it to you.
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
I was going to say, please subscribe to my channel because I'm desperate, just desperate. And we'll be doing this again next week. We've got another 3 or 4 weeks to go before we go into a short or long hiatus.
2 months. For me, 2 months, July and August.
We'll see.
And he's going to find other hosts. I'll bet you $1. Other co-hosts, other second bananas.
There's no one. I might have to talk with the other ones. With you, I just go banana, and you carry on for 20 minutes.
It's
Thank
a
you very
curse
much,
and a
Gordon.
gift. Yes, thank you, Gordon. I'm going to be wearing Gordon's shirts until we go on hiatus.
We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.